Humanity Matters.
Welcome back here to the Fog More Humanity. I'm your host, Richard Acritelli, here on HMTV. We are with our second episode with Bill Byrne, speaking about Rolling Thunder, about this immense motorcycle, patriotic, veterans, advocates, patriots, citizens group that's seen here on Long Island, New York City, but throughout the state and in almost 2 spots in within every state in this country in terms of their chapters. Now, you get involved, right? What's the biggest problem that you see here on Long Island in terms of the veterans that are now home, concerns that you might see with family members, things that you continually hear them say, we need a hand with this?
The biggest problem is veterans don't tell you they need a hand with it. That's the biggest problem. Veterans try to be extremely self-sufficient.
Yeah.
You have to be able to understand that.
Sure. You consider yourself maybe to be a little bit tougher.
Yes.
That you don't need to be talking about certain things. One of them is help itself there. I grew up, I pitched, and I had a decent arm. I gave up some home runs that haven't landed yet, but I got some outs. And my catcher's father is I know you might know him, Richie Kitson.
Of course I know Richie Kitson.
He's a Levittown guy.
Sure.
And, him and Mel Cohen. And Mr. Kitson, tough guy. He sounded like
He's a pussycat.
he sounded like Jack. You wouldn't say that years ago when you were a kid. I tell you, he always a big, sizable guy.
Richie's a big dude.
He's a big guy. And he always had big burly presence and just the nicest guy in the world. And I think the second half of his life, after raising his kids and having his home and working a couple of different jobs, has been towards really helping others.
Yes.
At the VA.
Richie's a member of the
Right,
Vietnam Veterans of America, and he's huge in the VA.
If he can't get you an answer, he will.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
No is not in Richie's vocabulary.
No, it's not.
No.
And, his brother died. He came home, and then his brother John Francis passed away. And then Mel Cohen, his brother was in the paratroopers, and he passed away. And those guys lived in the same town, in Levittown. Okay, right? You have what? MacArthur, Island Trees. And then Division, right?
Yeah.
And they did not know each other until they made a Gold Star family monument at one of the libraries in Levittown.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys, it's their goal to make sure that the information, is out there. And you said it best, right? There's a lot of veterans, they don't ask for anything.
So one of the biggest problems with not asking is a lot of the veterans we deal with, they think, I don't need my VA benefits. Why should I apply for them and take them from you?
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, they're your VA benefits. No one else gets them.
Individual.
If you don't take them, no one gets them. So please sign up. Sign up. Even if you don't need them, just get on record. Sign up.
You had a lot of veterans after World War II.
Yeah.
Didn't take their GI Bill.
No.
They end up paying their own way. I guess it was 2 things.
A lot of that came from the distrust with the government of what happened after World War I.
Yeah.
Where
the
the
bonus
government
army
promised it,
yeah.
And they reneged on everything.
Yeah. But, you had guys that were just tired of putting up with the government and they wanted to get kind of ahead with their lives and everything else. And, so you had a lot of people who had benefits that were tied to them. We just had one man at the Rocky Point VFW who was on all the news stations. He just got his Purple Heart like 40 years after.
Yes.
45 years after. And Lolota was out there.
My buddy Earl Mutz was out there to present. Yeah,
it was Purple Heart, right?
Yes. Yep.
He didn't know until he actually looked at his paperwork, because something had come up, and they gave him his medal, and they must have amended his records and stuff like that. You get a lot of people, they won't say a word.
Especially Marines. Yeah. Marines will never brag about the Purple Heart. Marines call it the Lead Sponge Award. I'm not supposed to get shot.
Yeah. They frown upon it a little bit, you know?
Just a little.
But so that's a big thing, though, is like just not saying much. So if they don't say too much, then you really can't help them.
No.
Right?
How do you know?
How do you know?
Well, that's one of the
it's
things
like your parents saying
when we come across veterans, we ask right away, hey, have you signed up with the VA? Nah. Get over here.
Yeah.
We sign them up.
Good. It's like your parents saying to you, how am I supposed to help you if I don't know?
Exactly.
Right?
So a lot of things we do, we install ADA ramps, the wheelchair ramps in the front of houses. If there's an accident or some kind of medical thing, or you're just getting up there in age and we show up. I remember the head of Suffolk County's Veteran Service Agency calls us one day. Hey, listen, I got a guy over here in Lindenhurst, blah, 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 needs a ramp. What's the address? Bang. Next day, the ramp was installed. Sent pictures. They're like, how did you get a ramp that quick, number one, and who the hell installed it? Well, we installed it. Where'd you get it? Don't worry about where we got it. These are our veterans.
You guys do a lot of fundraising?
We try our best to do fundraising.
Yeah, it's always a hard thing, right?
Fundraising is tough. I mean, there's so many organizations out there these days, you know, and the ones with all the big advertising, you know, so.
People, that's the problem. People could always say no,
right.
You know, and, you
so
know.
Some of our older veterans, you know, they get up in age, they have trouble getting in and out of bathtubs. We'll come in, rip out that bathroom, put a walk-in shower for them. Nice brand new bathroom. We do everything. Now
and railings and everything else,
grab
right?
Bars, the whole 9 yards. Boilers go down, heat in the winter, this, that, and the other. We're there. We will rip out that old equipment, put in new equipment.
Do you have any companies on Long Island, let's say with the burners, that are like veterans friendly?
Yes.
And they'll work with you?
Yes. Well, I'm a plumber, so by trade, and I still have a lot of connections in the New York City building trades. Let me tell you something. I hate to admit this because just like in the service between the different branches, between the different trades, we like to knock each other and break each other's chops.
Yeah. It's competition,
The electricians are usually the brunt of everybody. It's kind of like the Air Force or the Coast Guard. But the local three, New York City local three electricians are the absolute best. They are hands down, if I make a call to them, they come out. If anybody else calls, they show up in force. They send an army out to get these electrical projects done. It's just absolutely amazing what they do.
And they do it quickly, too.
In and out.
Right? There's no hesitation. There's no excuses. There's no
the training that the unions have and the access to material and whatnot, it's just they're in, they're out. It's done once, it's done right.
Can I ask you this? When you have 9/11 and then the fight in Iraq and Afghanistan, does that raise your groups, you know, in mission, volunteering, because you have over 100,000 soldiers in Iraq at one time, 100,000 in Afghanistan at the same time. You know, you had a lot of casualties coming home with the wounded warriors, right? Like I've done the golf outing out in the Rocky Point VFW. This is our 19th year doing it. You know, did you guys see your numbers go up at that time?
We didn't form as a chapter until 2016.
Okay.
Here on Long Island. So I can't say for our numbers, but I'm going to tell you, America.
Do you do a lot for the war on terror veterans now?
Absolutely.
Those guys suffering from PTSD, who have been wounded, you know, who might have done a couple tours overseas or, you know, and they're working now and they're having a hard time or, you know, whatever the case is, right?
People don't realize a lot of the times, Vietnam, for instance, because before all of this crazy stuff, nobody sees the little skirmishes that went on. But Vietnam was the last big one before the war on terror.
Yeah.
And guys went in, they did their tour, and they came home for the most part. Not here. Guys are doing 3 and 4 tours consecutively. Sometimes they'd be 2 tours, take a break, and then go back from it. And so I'll give you this. 9/11 happened. You didn't have to be there. You saw it on the news. It affected you.
Sure.
Everybody remembers.
They called it one of the longest days ever in American history. Just kept on going and going.
So that was one day. And that still affects people today,
Yeah.
25 years later. You look at our kids, because that's what they are. They're kids being sent off to war. And they're doing 2 and 3 and sometimes 4 tours.
And they're coming back in their mid-20s, trying to digest
what?
everything. And
And you expect them to be normal? There's no decommissioning from the military. Yeah, they have their little, we'll coach you. There's no decommissioning from the military.
Yeah.
You go into the military, what was your boot? I know the Marines are 13 weeks. So yours is like 9 or 11?
Through the Army, it was 9.
9. So let's average it out, 10 weeks. 2.5 months. For 2.5 months, you're broken down and rebuilt into what it takes to be a service member in the United States. That's not it. After boot, now you're going for your combat school or whatever MOS school you're going to do, whatever job school. And that's after boot camp. And that's just as bad sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you're going off to war. And then you come home from that. You were broken down, rebuilt, discipline, honor, integrity, respect, and you're coming here. Let's just give, because this is my experience, New York. People always in a rush. There's no respect, cutting in front of you, this, that, the other. How do you deal with that?
We had Chad Lennon. Do you know Chad Lennon?
I know that name.
He's in Suffolk County Assembly out in Rocky Point.
That's why I know the name. Yes,
Lieutenant Colonel.
Patty's Day Parade on the motorcycles.
Lieutenant Colonel, Marine Corps. Very, very sharp guy. Very sharp guy. He grew up here in Bayville, went to school in Locust Valley. He was at Wagner College when 9/11 occurred. He was playing sports. I think he was playing basketball. I could be wrong. Very good athlete. Always good shape. He had gone in after he graduated. And he was over in the Helmand province of Helmand province of Afghanistan. And he spoke about coming under attack, and then inside water bottles would explode, and you had armaments in there that would explode, and this and that. And then he came back to San Diego, and the world got so quick around him, and that like the PTSD starts coming up. You know, he goes, I'm driving 30 miles per hour. These guys are driving 70 around me. I'm just trying to concentrate on what I'm doing and what's going on and so on. And he walked from Montauk to the Hauppauge, the Suffolk County buildings there.
I was there when he came in. Yeah.
And they did that. I guess maybe 2 days, maybe they did that.
I remember
and they walked
that.
all night, and they just kept on going.
That was just last year.
Yeah, last year. And it was a big deal. It was Orient Point, right? I think it was Orient Point, not Montauk. It was from Orient to Hauppauge.
To the Lee building.
Yeah.
Denison building.
And I think he represents kind of like the newer politician who was overseas. He was in the service. They did whatever, they did their jobs and stuff like that. And it's almost like the politicians that you saw coming out of World War II in Korea, where they look at things a little bit differently, you know? And, you know, they're not complete yes guys either. They're going to look at everything and kind of say, maybe we can go in a different direction, or, you know, maybe we're forgetting to do something, you know, that sort of thing.
Your podcast is very important to get this kind of information out, because the regular media won't. They're looking for the flashy yellow journalism bylines for sales. Sure. And this kind of info doesn't get out with them.
Yeah, and we don't pull any punches here. We talk. We talk it out, you know?
What a lot of people don't understand, everybody has some sort of PTSD. If you have children and you're watching your kid ride a bike, he falls off the bike, you're going to have some sort of post-traumatic stress from that.
Yeah, even an ex-wife could do it to you also, right?
We'll definitely do it.
Yeah.
That might be worse than boot camp.
Yeah.
But so when you're leaving your house, and whether you do it, your wife does it, somebody does it, you got to go check the stove 3 times. Why? Well, one time I left it on, the pot boiled up. Yeah. That is a form of PTSD. So that making sure all your light switches are off. These things you do before you can actually go out, that's what you are dealing with. And you will look back now and say, yeah, it's so insignificant, and you don't even notice that you're doing it. Your husband might, your wife might, your kids might. You don't even notice you're doing it. Now, take a serviceman who's been deployed, who's been in combat, and they don't even have to be deployed or in combat. But I'm just going to the extreme. They're out there, for lack of a better term, please excuse me, they're in the shit. And they're seeing their buddies die. They're seeing things blown up and destroyed. They're doing it. They're receiving it. They're coming home. What do you think their PTSD is like?
We're seeing that now in terms of Iran.
Damn straight.
Because
it's reigniting.
All those rockets and the drones is a problem.
Yeah, but our guys
we're
from
having
GWAD of the Gulf War on Terror are reliving their time because of what's going on now. And that number, the 20, is starting to rise.
Because those shooting down those drones is a very difficult thing. $40,000 weapon, we're shooting $1 million missiles, and it's like the V1 and V2 rockets from Nazi Germany. So you could hear those buzz bombs coming, and the people knew it right away. You know.
Another problem with PTSD, and I mean, granted, we are spoiled with the medical accessibility here in the United States. No matter how much people want to bitch and complain about it,
it's still pretty good.
We got the best in the world. And it's available. So when you get on the psychological end of that, one of the horrible things about PTSD is each person is as individual with their PTSD as the next. So there is no one treatment.
Yeah.
It's just not there.
Yeah.
And you're asking these guys to come and talk. Well, combat veterans ain't talking to nobody. They won't even hardly ever talk to other combat veterans unless they were side by side during whatever conflict and stuff they
or
had to
later
do.
on, they end up in a VFW where as they get older,
they're really not telling the story.
Yeah, but some of those guys, they wait a while though.
The Sunrise Detachment Marine Corps League was kind enough to look at the work that I was doing. They made me an associate member. Now, being a service member, you know there's only two branches of the military. The Army and the Navy. The Marine Corps is a cult, and the Air Force, well, that's a corporation. So you got two branches and a cult, and the Marines don't let anybody else in. If you didn't earn that EGA and have the privilege of calling yourself a Marine, then you're not one of them.
Yeah.
Well, they adopted me and made me an associate member of their league.
Well, that's a tribute to yourself in terms of the work you've done.
Well, they even said I could make fun of the Navy.
Yeah. All right. Well,
but
remember, the Navy's giving those guys a lot of rides, right?
One of the things I got going for me is pretty much all my close friends are Marines, going back to when I was growing up, even today. And I get to talk to them. But even with that, and I have a huge trust with some of these guys, and a lot of them were combat vets. Some of them are Fallujah combat, some of them Afghanistan, and we will actually talk. And some of them opened up and let me in. And people will look at me and go, why would they let you in? Well, I would tell them stories instead of asking them questions.
Yeah.
And I would say, well, growing up, I was in Ireland. So, you talk about having to lower your gun onto a kid because you don't know if that kid's strapped or not. I said, I totally understand that. And they, well, how do you understand that? I said, because I was that kid that the British soldiers used to lower their weapons on, and I could still hear them locking and loading. So I know all about that from the other side of your rifle. And then they would ask about combat, and I said, I really can't give you any experience on combat except 9/11 happened. What does that mean? I said, I was down there for the first 2 months. I was one of them construction workers. On the pile, in the pile, under the pile, torch in my hand, cutting that steel.
Did you know John Field?
I know John Field.
Yeah. I built a big 9/11 memorial.
Great man. You got to know Tom Ronayne.
Say that again?
Tom Ronayne?
Romaine?
Ronayne. Tom used to run the Suffolk County Veterans Service.
Oh, was he
agency.
Was that the Veterans VCO there? Am I saying that right, Lee?
Well, he was the top dog, and
yeah.
He's big with John Field. And
we had Colonel Brennan here. He did, and then Marcel Lease as well. And
Tom brought Marcel up.
Yeah. And then I had gone. I was asked.
Marcel is great.
Very good.
She is amazing.
She's she knows a lot, right?
Marcel, if you're seeing this, I'm sorry about the Air Force jokes.
I'd gone to a meeting for the Feel Good Foundation, and then Sheriff Errol Toulon was there before becoming the sheriff.
He's
right?
a great guy.
Great guy, right? And, I'm raising money. We hit a little bit of a lull. Two big things helped us with our 9/11 memorial at the Diamond in the Pines in Quorum. Was one, Bin Laden was caught and killed, because that brought it back to people's minds.
Yep.
And two was John Field and Errol Toulon. Because here I am, maybe looking to get maybe $500 or $1,000 out of them, right? And I think the highest part that we had for our memorial was like $5,000 or $6,000. And he goes, well, can I give this amount here? And I was shocked, right? And John Field looks like Captain America, like he's a short, stocky guy.
He's cut.
He's aggressive, and he's got a way with the English language, So I go, yeah, that would be great. A couple days later, Errol Toulon, they were the 9/11 responders. We're going to match what John's given. And they had their own memorial that they're doing, which I'm sure you know, in Lake Ronkonkoma.
Yep.
The 9/11 Responders Park, which they're adding names all the time to that, all the time. And that's probably one of the most unique 9/11 memorials in this country, because it's just ongoing.
Yep. It's open door.
And those guys were like just very, when I tell you like how good they were, and the sheriff, I'll see him a couple times a year. I was at his inauguration, and there's always that camaraderie. Like, we had done these things together. And I'm trying to get the sheriff here, but he's very busy. And I think sooner or later he'll either come down or we'll do like a Zoom meeting.
I see him often. Next time I'll see him.
Yeah, tell him that you did the show there.
Get your ass down there and do it.
Yeah,
it's not about you. It's about who you're helping.
Yeah.
And that he'll get.
The sheriff's a good guy, soft-spoken, very well-educated, very
business. He's all about getting business done.
Very experienced in terms of what he's done. Now, before we go today, what are some goals that you would like to maybe improve on or expand with as you're running, Nassau and Suffolk County?
Yeah. We work with two other organizations. We sistered up with an organization called General Needs, Mr. Lonnie Sherman, who actually joined Rolling Thunder. So he's part of us, and we're part of General Needs. Lonnie's mission, the general needs, items our veterans need. It's all about the homeless vet.
Okay.
Making sure they're taken care of. When the VA gets them placed in apartments, Lonnie makes sure that the apartments are furnished, that there's kitchen stuff there, because we don't need these vets being stuck in an empty box.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Right? It's accessible, right?
That's worse than being out in the woods sometimes.
Yeah.
So Paws of War.
Another great organization.
Another amazing organization. And what they do, look up Paws of War, read their profile, look up General Needs. If you're looking to make donations to organizations, I'm not going to say organizations don't help, but you're here on Long Island. Some of these other organizations, Tunnels to Towers, we work hand in hand with them. So they're an amazing organization.
And their mission has evolved, right? In terms of the houses and education, right?
Absolutely.
Which is amazing.
So they are great organizations to donate to. But right here in your backyard, you have General Needs and you have Paws of War, who do amazing things. And they can really use the help for the stuff they do. It costs us over $1,000 to furnish an apartment, put, air fryers and dishes and plates and glasses and silverware, lamps, couches, beds.
Well, you have companies that you can go to where you say, listen, we need 30% off. We need 50% off.
Yes. PC Richards is very generous with us. Sealy, the mattress and pillow company, is very generous with us. Home Depot is amazing with us when we're doing projects, building houses and stuff, and all great. But Paws of War and General Needs, as well as Rolling Thunder New York 6.
Yeah.
I think our website is rollingthunderlongisland.org.
Now, before we go, Is it hard to believe it's been 25 years since 9/11?
No.
Just goes by quick, right?
It seems like yesterday still. Any of the guys that were down there, the nightmares are still there.
Yeah.
So like with the veterans, having them open up, I tell them my story, you know, growing up in Ireland, you know, with the British soldiers, and then the nonsense I went through in the streets of Queens growing up, and then my buddies going off to war, 9/11 happened, and it was like, I'm just getting slapped left and right.
If you remember, you remember 9/11, how beautiful that day was.
Gorgeous day.
Gorgeous day.
Except the Giants lost the night before.
Yeah. You're coming out of the summer, people putting their kids on the bus, you know, going to work. They're just handling their daily, responsibilities. And
it was beautiful. Friday when George Bush showed up at Ground Zero, it rained, and then it was beautiful again.
Yeah. Crazy, right? So
just insane.
It just hopefully, some of the younger people get to see certain things on TV about 9/11 and about remembering it and so on, where it's just not another date. I know there's a lot of veterans who don't want 9/11 to be a national holiday because they're concerned that it might turn into a Memorial or Veterans Day where it could be a shopping holiday, that they feel as though if that's going to be a holiday, everything's got to be shut down,
Unfortunately, they're right.
Yeah.
Because that's what it will turn
into.
Yeah,
sooner or later. Come out and get 30% off here or 40% off there.
Because nobody honors Memorial. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. The majority of people don't honor Memorial Day for what it is.
Sometimes they just see it as a day off, and that's it.
Veterans Day is the same thing. Armed Forces Day. Nobody even recognizes that.
Very costly days.
POWMIA Day.
Yeah.
People go, what day? POWMIA Day.
So
82,000 is the rounded up number. It might be a little less now because we have the Department of POWMIA Affairs. They are actually...
And the forensics that they're able to do and everything, right?
Exactly.
Honolulu.
We are starting to bring people home. I mean, naval conflicts, you're not bringing these guys home.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But 82,000 since World War I. That's not even counting the Spanish-American War to the Revolution.
Yeah. So a huge number. So
World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Cold War, the 2 sandbox wars. 7 wars. 82,000 have not come home.
Yeah.
And that's unacceptable.
Sure.
Unacceptable.
But all right, Bill, listen, thank you very much for coming down. We'll talk to you again. Bill Byrne from Rolling Thunder, New York Chapter 6, does some outstanding work. And thank you for all his time and consideration to always helping our national and our local veterans. I'm Richard Acritelli here on HMTV with the Fog of War and Humanity. We'll see you around the next time.
If you enjoyed exploring the information, history, and stories in today's conversation, be sure to check out our other podcasts here on HMTV. Please subscribe, share, and stay connected for more engaging conversations.
Humanity Matters.